Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining for this wonderful session, which happens to be the part 2 of Divine and Demoniac. If you can hear me clearly, and if you can see me properly, can you please raise your hands and confirm? Okay, thank you. Let's start with some kirtan. I'll share my screen. Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachacha Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Shunyavadi Pachacha Deshatarine Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari, Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Yajna Ki Jai. So, welcome to today's session. In the previous session, we covered this chapter, Divine and Demoniac. In the previous session, we covered only the divine qualities. In the previous session, it was a Nityananda Kathamritam. We heard the glories of Lord Nityananda, which are unlimited in their own way. Today we will continue this divine and demoniac, and we will discuss only the demoniac qualities today. Okay, let's begin. This session is dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual grandfather, who was ever merciful upon me, despite my so many disqualifications. I dedicate this session to him. Despite all my disqualifications, I would like to speak Krishna Katha, which is only possible by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and my spiritual master. The material conditioned soul has a disease of being ungrateful to the previous acharyas and to the spiritual masters. We, being conditioned living entities, are also suffering from that disease of ungratefulness. Therefore, the receptivity of their message is very less for us. We are really, really ungrateful. That's why we do not most of the times remember what they say. We do not most of the times understand the gravity of what they have to say. So let's all express our gratitude. Let's try to be grateful from the core of our hearts. And let's dedicate this session for the pleasure of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langhayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So before we begin, we will quickly revise what we understood in the divine qualities because it's been some time. Hare Krishna. So we will see, we will wanting to see the divine and demoniac qualities. We were wanting to see divine and demoniac persons. And then we were more interested in how to develop these divine qualities. That was the flow. And we understood divine qualities take us higher. The green arrow is the divine quality. Demoniac quality is the red arrow. We were discussing the dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Dharmo rakshati rakshataha. That means if we try to protect the dharma, if we try to protect the principles, then those principles of Sanatana Dharma or of those principles of eternal religion will in turn protect us very, very properly. And then we started seeing the divine qualities. The first 3 verses of this chapter 16, are the divine qualities. They were as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from the covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to the godly men endowed with divine nature. So these were all the divine qualities, out of which we took some of the qualities to discuss. That is, we discussed the study of Vedas, the performance of sacrifice, truthfulness, freedom from anger, aversion to fault-finding, forgiveness, and cleanliness. So I'm not going to revise these qualities again because they have already been discussed. I hope that there are no questions. We saw how studies of Vedas is very much important. And we saw how Lord Chaitanya, passing through the forest of Jharkhand, made even the animals dance in ecstasy. I had circulated that video of the place where all these animals had assembled to do the Harinam Sankirtan. And I was explaining how simply by doing Sankirtan, everything falls in place. So Sankirtan is the source of all auspiciousness in the human society. Then we discussed about truthfulness. We saw how only this is the only leg of dharma which is still continuing to exist in Kali Yuga. And we saw what is the austerity of speech. Anuvega karam vakyam satyam prayam hitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva van mayam tapa uchyate. Austerity of speech consists of the words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others. And also regularly reciting the Vedic literature. I have a question to ask. How many of you, earlier I was giving one shloka per week to learn. How many of you want that to continue? Because if we really want to learn the Vedic literature, we have to keep learning the shlokas. If you feel that you want to continue that exercise, you can please type yes in the chat box. Okay, we will do it. We will give a slide. Okay, Prachi Parihar Mataji is telling that you please send the recording, audio recording also. Yes, we will send that. Also, I am planning to start a project. When we go out for book distribution, we meet many people. So somehow we need to cultivate them after that. They have to read the books of Srila Prabhupada and they have to have some kind of a forum where they need to connect and engage themselves. Unfortunately, right now, although attendance is a little less, but the Gita course is a little mature, we can't connect them here. So we need to have a separate portal. So I was thinking of making some short 5-minute, 10-minute audio lectures or video lectures and make a course out of that. That was my idea. So I wanted to divide these courses in two categories. One for devotees who are chanting Hare Krishna, who are convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who have developed some hankering to always be in the association of devotees. So that is one category. And there will be courses, Vaishnav courses on the Vaishnav etiquette and the Vaishnav philosophy and things like that. And however, for the new audience, I want to make some videos. So there may be many topics which may be like very hot topics or burning topics which I don't know, because I try not to be exposed so much to the newspaper and the media, because it's contaminating in some ways. Plus, the ideal principle for those who are practicing renunciation is Grame Katha na kahibe, Grame Katha na sunibe. So one should not be too much engrossed with the newspapers and the media and the news channels. So So I try to keep some distance. However, there may be some hot topics. The idea is that even to these new people, we want to present the same philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, the same Krishna consciousness, but we want to package it nicely. So we want to present it to people in the way they want to hear. For example, if there is something which is going on, something related to Corona or something related to some, very recently, some movie actor committed suicide, or somehow we have to connect the dots because people want to hear about these things. And if we just catch hold of such hot topics, and if packaging the Krishna conscious message in a nice way, according to the time, place, and circumstances, if we present, then people will hear it. And when it will be a 5-minute, 10-minute video, and when people will hear it, then they will benefit from it, and then that video will take them to another video, and that video will take them to another video. In this way, ultimately, we'll ask them to chant, and when they'll start chanting, we'll invite them for our Sunday Love Feast programs, which is happening every Sunday morning, 8 a.m. And from there, we'll just plug them into the Gita course. That is my plan. So I want all of you to assist me in coming up with a database of such topics. For example, if you go on websites like Quora, and if you type something, let's say Bhagavad Gita, then on the right hand side, you will see there are so many questions related to Bhagavad Gita which people are asking. Similarly, there is also a website called answerthepublic.com. There, if you type some question, watermelon, and all the queries which related to watermelon, which the world is doing or the public is doing in and around you, is very nicely portrayed. So I'm just throwing some ideas that in this way devotees can search very nicely and come up with some proposals. You can just message me personally, and that Prabhuji, it will be good to make a course content on this topic. Prabhuji, it will be good to make course content on this topic. We need some hot topics or some interesting topics because people are already searching for it. People are already looking for the answers. And if we try to answer those questions via the solutions from Bhagavad Gita, then people will really hear. So this is a very, very effective method of preaching. I'm thinking like this. So all of you feel free to become a part of this project. If anybody wants to be a part of this project, you can become a part of this project. We will let you know how to become a part of this project. And let's make some nice content. Anybody who gets a book from us, we'll just share them the link to these things. And nicely, we will connect them through some audio lectures and video lectures, some content. Four kinds of people come to Krishna: Artho, Artharthi, Jigyasu, and Jnani. One who want money, one who want relief from distress, one who are little inquisitive, and one who are actually in knowledge. So we want to make content. Whatever content I want to make, I want to categorize it: Artho, Artharthi, Jigyasu, and Jnani. So I want to see that Artho people are having some content for themselves. Artharthi people are having some content for themselves. Jigyasu people are having, and Jnanis are also having. And in this way, my idea is to have a 60-day content for everybody. And all of you can just refer to that map and understand, okay, I'm dealing with an Artho person. So there is step-by-step given, okay, first share this video, after that share this quote of Bhagavad Gita, after that share this Prabhupada lecture, or after that share this nice article. Or so everything is there. You just have to keep following it and keep forwarding it, and that person will simply become a devotee after that. People are distracted on the mobile. My idea is to distract them with Krishna consciousness. So all those who are interested in participating in this project, this is not a one-day project. It will go on for some amount of time. So please let me know if you want to participate in this project. It requires some research. It requires some homework. It requires some video processing will be required, and various things will be required. So that is the idea. So, austerity of speech is done. Freedom from anger. And we were discussing how anger is contaminating a lot of energy of the brain, and brain cells get wasted. And we were seeing that anger should be used properly in the service of the Lord. Otherwise, anger is a self-destructive agency. And we should not fault find in people. Higher than fault finding is to see the spiritual spark and acknowledge it and fan it. I was giving the example how so many faults were there in the disciples of Srila Prabhupada initially, but Prabhupada tolerated it and went ahead. And because he saw a spiritual spark in them, he fanned them, and then ultimately that small spiritual spark, when it became the fire of devotion, it just burnt up all the disqualifications and all the misgivings, and ultimately they became gold acharyas. Then we saw the importance of forgiveness, how it is important to forgive. A person who does not forgive, this is, I often share with my students, that if we hold a grudge against someone, we'll not be able to chant properly. Similarly, if somebody has held a grudge against us, we will not be able to chant properly. So we have to chant very, very sincerely and have a very humble attitude, forget and forgive a kind of attitude. I'll tell you a small pastime. I don't know if I told it previous time. The 6 Goswamis, the 6 direct students of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Many devotees call him Prema Purushottam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Rupa Goswami, the 6, one of the primary students of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was just sitting in one place, and he was, devotees who have attained perfection in Krishna consciousness, they can actually enter into the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and they can actually see it happening around. Because Krishna Lila is always happening, eternally happening. Only those who are qualified, they are able to see it. So Rupa Goswami was sitting in one place, and he was meditating on the Krishna Lila. At that time, Krishna was in Vrindavan, and he could see it. Fortunate people can see it happening. Unfortunate people, when they go to Vrindavan, they will see some pigs, some monkeys, some sewages, some buildings, some dirt, some cows, some beggars, one nice bazaar called as Loi Bazaar, some nice lassi, some nice clothes, some nice deities, paraphernalia, dress for your Laddu Gopal, and then, yeah, that's Vrindavan. But when you go with devotees and you see the dham through your ears in the association of devotees, then the dham gets revealed to you. The dham these days, or in Kali Yuga, looks like that because it wants to prevent all the unauthorized atheists from entering it. So therefore, there is an external covering of Maya. When you go to the Radha Kund or when you go to the Sham Kund, you will see, oh, there is green algae floating on water. Oh, there is little bit dirt there, this there, that there. That is our material vision. Yog Maya wants those people who are not surrendered to Krishna to not access Radha Kund, Sham Kund, and Vrindavan, and Mayapur and Jagannath Puri and such places. So therefore, she covers it with that material vision. But those who have the spiritual vision, they just foresee, they just pass through this material covering and they see the actual Vrindavan, where eternally the pastimes of Radha and Krishna are going on. So Rupa Goswami was sitting one day and he was seeing that Radharani was there under a tree, and it was a mango tree, and she was trying to pluck the mangoes, but the mango tree was a little high. But Krishna was secretly there on the branch of that tree. And when he saw that Radharani is constantly trying to jump and get, so what he did, he went up onto the tree and he lowered the branch like this little bit. And Radharani thought, oh wow, the tree is listening. He is acknowledging that I want to take a fruit. So when she saw that the tree has come down, and then when she just held the branch and tried to pluck the mango, Krishna again left the branch, and so the branch went up and Radharani started hanging in the air. So this pastime of Radha and Krishna, when Rupa Goswami was seeing, he was smiling. He was closed, his eyes were closed in the spiritual television of his heart. He was seeing these pastimes which were happening live. But then at that time, there was a limping person, a person who was not able to walk properly passing from there. He thought that Rupa Goswami has seen me limping and he's smiling at me. So he just carried a grudge in his heart. That's all. Rupa Goswami did not do anything. He was smiling at something else. But he felt bad. One devotee, one Vaishnava felt bad. Unknowingly also he felt bad. Knowingly or unknowingly, whatever may the reason, he felt bad. The moment he felt bad, immediately the meditation of Rupa Goswami broke. And after that, he tried many, many times, but he could not focus on these pastimes. So he went to his elder brother, Sanatan Goswami. He used to call Sanatan Goswami as Prabhupada, and he asked him that, please help me. I don't know what has happened. I just can't focus in my sadhana anymore. I don't remember doing anything stupid. So at that time, Sanatan Goswami told that you hold a feast. You invite all the devotees of Vrindavan and you hold a feast and serve them nicely. In this way, you'll be forgiven of the offenses. So Rupa Goswami holds a great feast, invites all the Vaishnavas. Everybody comes except that devotee who was limping and walking and who felt bad that Rupa Goswami is trying to smile at me as I limp and walk. So Sanatan Goswami asked Rupa Goswami which amongst all the devotees who did not come. So Rupa Goswami said this person did not come. So Sanatan Goswami said, okay, you go to this person and beg forgiveness. So Rupa Goswami, although it was no fault of his, but he went and begged for forgiveness. And then the other devotee forgave him. He told him that I thought that you were laughing because I was limping. But then Rupa Goswami clarified that that was not the case, and I'm really sorry if you felt bad, please forgive me. So then that devotee forgave him, had some prasad with him. And then when that devotee forgave him, after that Rupa Goswami was again able to focus in his Krishna consciousness. So by this pastime, Krishna is showing to us that Vaishnav aparadh done either knowingly or unknowingly is very detrimental to Krishna consciousness. So therefore, forgiveness is very important. If somebody is not forgiving us, then it is very detrimental for our Krishna consciousness. We have to be very, very humble and go and beg forgiveness from them. And similarly, we should also forgive everybody. If we are holding a grudge against someone in our heart, then when we will sit to chant, we will feel that we are not able to chant, that humility is not coming. We need to be humble while chanting, to be on the Kirtanya Sada Hari platform. So I was just sharing the story that forgiveness is very important. Until we forgive and until we get forgiven, it is not possible for us to chant Hare Krishna sincerely. Cleanliness, we saw it is very, very important. External, internal, and dealings all should be clear. Now we finally come to the demoniac qualities. I hope all of you are ready to hear the demoniac qualities, because I feel these are very natural for us. If you are very excited to hear about these demoniac qualities, please type yes in the chat box. Okay. Thank you for participating. I will again encourage you, each one teach one while being taught by one. Please bring some new people also in this course. You can preach to them, you can ramp them up over what we have heard till now, and you can a little bit mentor them, request them to chant one round. I request all of you to take a vrata that in 2021, you should make one devotee. When I say devotee, I mean that person should be chanting Hare Krishna, should be connected to any one of these sessions or courses, and should have some books of Srila Prabhupada. That is the definition of a devotee for us, primarily speaking. So if there are 100 devotees here, suppose, and if 100 of you bring one devotee new, we are not asking you to make a devotee every month. I know some preachers who have a target of making 108 devotees every year. When previously the strength was good, I was thinking, oh wow, this year we'll be successful in making 108 devotees. But slowly and steadily the strength has reduced. So now I'm not confident about it. But I know there are groups of preachers who take a vrata that every year 108 devotees. But we are not asking you to make 108 devotees. We are asking you to make one devotee in 12 months. I don't think that's very difficult. Please try that. Please bring them to these sessions. It is your responsibility also. You'll progress as a personality. You'll progress as a devotee when you start to preach. Okay. Demoniac qualities. Dambho darpobhimanascha krodha paurushyam evacha ajnanam chabhijatasya partha sampadam asurim. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Prithha. So these qualities, pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance, they are basically the royal road to hell. What is conceit? Conceit is excessive pride of oneself in one way. And pride comes before a fall. That's a very, very famous statement in the English language. What we should be proud of, everything is based on everything we have got, everything which we have is a grace of Krishna. It's like borrowed plumes. We have a feather, and all the feathers are like borrowed plumes in the hat. There are various feathers, and all of them are borrowed from Krishna. It is very difficult to put up with proud people. When you find someone around you who is proud, you will not be able to put up with that person. Similarly, arrogance. Arrogance is like, I don't care. Pride, what we should be proud of. Yesterday, I was having a meeting with my little bit older students, and I was reading that prayer, a Jaladuta prayer, which Srila Prabhupada had written while traveling towards the west on the boat, on the ship. That prayer was called as Markine Bhagavad Dharma. Where Srila Prabhupada is saying that I am very insignificant. I have nothing. I have no strength on my own. I'm just like a puppet in your hands. However, O Krishna, if you have brought me here in this God-forsaken country, then there must be some purpose which you have in your mind. Otherwise, why will you bring me here? And then Srila Prabhupada starts expressing his preaching plans. How will he preach to them? And his preaching plan is nothing but five verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaye bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtuki. All these verses. And then in the end, he's telling that, I'm just a puppet in your hands. Make me dance, make me dance, make me dance as you like. He's praying to Krishna. Oh Krishna, by your desire, by your inconceivable desire, these people have been put into ignorance. Now, if you may so desire, they may be released from the clutches of ignorance also. Therefore, it is my desire that you kindly liberate them. He says, therefore, it is my desire that you kindly liberate them if you so desire. He's not putting a binding on Krishna also. Complete mood, surrendered mood of a servant. Very nicely he's praying. And in the end, he writes, yours insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Like that, he's such a humble mood. There's no question of being proud because Krishna is the source of everything. If we start being proud, oh, I am very nice, I'm very good looking, I'm very rich, I'm very nicely educated, I'm very famous and I'm very wealthy, healthy, whatever, influential, strong. Um, all these qualities, they are defeated by only one small aspect of Krishna, and that is called time. Whether you are great emperors like Akbar or whatever, Alexander or whatever, or whether you are great politicians like Mahatma Gandhi or whoever, time, time will finish you completely. Just one, time is a small aspect of Krishna. So why should we be proud? Similarly, arrogance. We should not be arrogant. Even while book distribution, whomever we meet, we should make them feel special. There's no question of being arrogant. And when in devotee community, there is absolutely no question of being arrogant. Anger, already we have discussed. Anger destroys. Harshness, lack of respect, all these things, they are very, very contaminating. And ignorance, avidya, the root cause of material existence, avidya. Forgetting your constitutional position. Because of this avidya, so many millions and millions of lifetimes we have just lost. We think we are the enjoyers. We think we can enjoy separately from Krishna. We think we can have an existence separately from Krishna. This is called avidya. Completely against prema bhakti. And how this avidya can be destroyed? Only by the mercy of the devotees. Only when we develop a hankering to hear the transcendental message of Krishna, that is when the prema bhakti will begin. That is when this avidya will be destroyed. The Bhagavatam says, Shrushusho Shaddhadhanasya Vasudeva Katha Ruchihi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipraha Punyatirtha Nishevanat. The Bhagavatam says, by rendering service to the devotees who are purified or freed from all vices, when we render service to such devotees, a great service is done. And when we do service to such devotees, the affinity to hear Krishna Katha rises like a sun in the chambers of our heart. Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. That's what the Bhagavatam says. So simply, we have to render service to them. And after that, by their mercy, we will get taste in Krishna Katha. Topics, name, form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna. We'll get taste in chanting. We'll get taste in hearing. So, and then this ignorance, avidya, will be destroyed. Otherwise, this ignorance is so strong. The Bhagavad Gita says that even if one of the senses are roaming, even if one of the senses is not properly controlled, even a man of intelligence who knows how to discriminate what is right and what is wrong, even if one of the senses is simply roaming around in search of sense objects, that one sense is sufficient enough to drag down a man of intelligence into the darkest regions of ignorance and materialistic existence, into the clutches of material nature. That is this ignorance. So these are demoniac qualities. Ignorant people say there is no God, God is dead. Hiranyaksha wanted to kill God, Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill God. The communists said that there is no God. They prosecuted everybody who was reading any religious book or when they were reading the Bhagavad Gita, and so on and so forth. Some people say one can go back to God only through my way, only through my religion, this and that. All this is ignorance. They don't know what is religion. Religion means a prescribed set of activities in the association of other followers, which will help you to increase your love for God. Now, whichever so-called temporary, contemporary man-made versions of religions you may be following, whether it may be Hindu or Christianity or Muslim, Mohammedanism or Judaism or Islam or whatever religion you are following. Ask yourself, have you actually become a lover of God? If no, then it is a fake religion. It's not a real religion. Real religion means ahaituki apratihataya yatma suprasidati, unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service in the climate of prema bhakti. That is religion. Okay, so these were the demoniac qualities. Now more demoniac qualities will come in the divine and demoniac persons. So what is the difference? The basic difference is divine, one who obeys God's laws as given in the scriptures, and demoniac is one who does not pay any regard to the scriptural rules and acts whimsically. 99.999% people presently are demoniac. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunes tatra samasate suraha. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunes tatra samasate suraha. Harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathe nasati dhavato bahihi. The scriptures very clearly says, Yasyasti bhakti. Those who are devotees of Krishna, even without the separate endeavor, they attract all the divine qualities. They become a storehouse of all the divine qualities, simply because they are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Simply by chanting and engaging in devotional services, one can become fully purified in this very lifetime, provided one has the patience. Just like when you start grooming a room, which is very dirty from many days. So when you start grooming, you're cleaning the fan, you're cleaning the door, you're cleaning the floor. So a lot of dust will rise. This is the situation of a sadhaka. When we as sadhakas, when we try to cleanse our heart, we find it is so dirty, it is so reeking, it is so stinking. Sometimes we start feeling, am I actually a devotee also? There is so much anarthas in my heart. So that is exactly like the cleaning process. When we start cleaning, the dust starts rising. But then what one should do, one should just tie a mask or wear a mask on their face and continue the cleaning. For some time, to the immature sadhaka or to the impatient sadhaka, it may appear that I'm trying to clean this room of my heart, and as I'm trying to clean it seems the dust is rising and the room is becoming more dusty. I can't see anything. There's a thick cloud of dust around me now. But then one should just continue cleaning. So similarly, by chanting Hare Krishna and by engaging in devotional service with patience and determination, trying our best to follow the instructions from the spiritual master, one can attain Krishna in this very lifetime. So yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunes tatra samasate. Those who are devotees of Krishna, even without any extra endeavor, they automatically inherit all the good qualities of Krishna. Most of the good qualities of Krishna. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahaguna. Those who are not devotees of Hari, they have no good quality. Manorathe nasati dhavato bahi. Why? Because they are simply running on a mentally concocted plane of existence. Manorathena. According to me, in my opinion, they will never read the Bhagavad Gita. So if they don't read the Bhagavad Gita, that means, according to me, in my opinion, I feel, I think, this should be done, that should be done, and things like that. This is going on. They don't know what is the right thing and what is the wrong thing to do. Society is degrading so much. Families, there is no joint family these days. They think it is very good not to have a joint family. Joint family means there was constant protection by the seniors of the family members. So many people staying together, that means so many engagements. So many engagements, that means the day passing very nicely. No time for sense gratification. And in this way, so many people staying together, that means various engagements. Also, you may call it ritualistic engagements, but still there were some engagements, traditional engagements. But now, nuclear family, husband is working, wife is working, children have been put in daycare. This is going on. So this is not good. We need a joint family. In the last 10 years, last 10 to 15 years, the damage which this internet has done, that much damage was not done in the last 500 years also. Rapidly Kali Yuga has progressed. The whole culture, Vedic culture, has been fully destroyed to a huge extent. Internet is spreading falsity, false expectations, falsity, immoral behavior. And whatever this internet is portraying, that is how the youth of our country is behaving. These days, all the movies which come out, or the TV serials which come out, or during lockdown, because they cannot release movies. So people tell me they have started releasing some web series, fully contaminated. My friends tell me it is fully contaminated. Means like nobody could have even imagined 10 years ago that actually such kind of stuff will be shown on public television. That is going on. And the argument with these people who are degrading the civilization, the 1,000-year-old civilization, which was Vedic civilization, which was existing in this land of India, they are rapidly degrading it, killing it. The argument which they are giving is that, okay, there are people who want this, there is a market for this. If we will not do, somebody else will do, so let us do. And the whole nation is going crazy, especially the youth. Imagine what their mind has become filled with these days. Self-destructive mentality. No wonder the youth of this country is not able to achieve anything because of such climate which exists. Horrible, horrible. Nobody can maintain any kind of peace of mind or any kind of social relationships or any kind of purity in them. It is fully destroyed now. Fully destroyed. And if this continues like this, Vedic civilization will be finished in the next 5 to 10 years. Finished, absolutely finished. That is all because of this television, internet, and things like that. Mobile. So these are demoniac people. They are manorathe nasati dhavato bahi. They are riding on a mental, they don't believe in Bhagavad Gita. So they feel that, it is their right to do it and they should do it, because if they will not do it, somebody else will do it. They have a right to. And they do not understand what is right, what is wrong, what is moral, what is immoral. Krishna says lust, greed, and anger are 3 gates to hell. And in their movies and in their documentaries, in their web series, in their newspapers, in their magazines, their only central agenda is how to make people more lusty, how to make people more greedy, and how to make people more frustrated, harsh, arrogant, and angry. And they are all pulling down everybody towards hell, and everybody is running and going towards hell. And they think it is right to do. So therefore, Where these demoniac people, they may have PhDs, they may have MBAs, they may have great MA, BA, BSc, whatever, BTech, they may be charged, whatever, great lawyers or great civil servants. If they are not devotees of Hari, that means they are useless people. He is a demon. There are only two kinds of people which exist in the whole universe. Devotees of Krishna, divine. Those who are not devotees of Krishna, they are demons. That's all. Whatever they may say, I'm planting trees, I'm digging wells, I'm distributing this, I'm doing that, I'm saving animals, I'm cleaning the river, or whatever you do, if you are not a devotee of Krishna, you are a demon. That's all. Because either you can serve Krishna or you can serve Maya. Because you are not a devotee of Krishna, so you're not serving Krishna. You're serving Maya, and if you're serving Maya, then that means you're a demon. You're this red person. You see this red person? This red person. You may be very nicely dressed. You may have very articulative speech. You may have a lot of influence. You may have a lot of beauty, strength, whatever quality you may exhibit. You may have a huge fan following also. But if you are not a devotee of Krishna, you are a demon. And irrespective of what you have with you, simply if you are chanting Hare Krishna and you are trying to follow the instructions of the acharyas, you are a divine personality. That's all. Moving on, so some chat messages have come. Yeah, Abhishek Mishra Prabhu is telling, even the songs of today, they are horrible. Ideally, if we really want to be peaceful, we should really try to distance ourselves away from these songs. If you open the Vaishnava literature, if you open the kirtans and the bhajans written by the acharyas and the six Goswamis and Narottam Das Thakur, you'll find that there is so much depth in it. Yesterday, I was speaking with all my heart and conviction, and I was trying to drive this point that if somebody can understand this Markine Bhagavad Dharma, which Prabhupada wrote on the Jaladuta while going towards USA, if somebody can understand one poem or one bhajan written by these acharyas, that one bhajan, if they sing every night before going to sleep, and if they simply try to understand that one bhajan, if somebody really understands that one song, they will go back home, back to God. What is the point of singing, which is not a glorification of the Lord? If you are trying to glorify the Lord, even if you are imperfectly composing your words, imperfectly composing your whatever rhythmic meters, it is still good. But even if you are the most perfect person, if you are not glorifying the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna, you are a crow. And nobody likes hearing to a crow. Okay? Naveen Kumar Prabhu is telling all material qualifications are shunya, Prabhuji. This understanding is required. That all material qualifications are shunya. And then when we meet our children, we should emphasize this point. There are so many parents who always encourage their children to become more and more entangled in the slaughterhouse education. A good idea is that for your children, when they sit to study, first 15-20 minutes or half an hour, they should read Prabhupada books. And after that, they should read their syllabus books. This is the ideal thing to do. Otherwise, they'll be lost, I'm telling you. It is not possible to bring them back because there is so much contamination. Don't compare this time to be like the 90s where all of you grew up, or the 80s where all of you grew up. All of us grew up. That time is gone. Now, simply by breathing in this slaughterhouse educational system, a person is being slaughtered. The soul is being slaughtered on a daily basis. Okay, Bhagavad Gita 16.6 says, Dvau bhuta sargo lokesmin devasura evacha devo vistarashah prokta asuram parthameshrano. O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other is demoniac. Krishna is also telling only two categories. I have explained to you at length the divine qualities. Basically, Krishna spoke only 4 verses. Now hear from me the demoniac. Now be ready. Asatyam apradishtham te jagadahuranishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kim manyat kama haitukam. The demonic people, they say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is just produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Now, when you hear this, you will really resonate with this, that yes, we have seen everybody is talking like this only. The world is unreal. These Mayavadis, Brahman, Satya, Jagat, Mithya, everything is, there's no foundation. And people really believe in it. And there's no God in control. Everything is happening. God is not controlled, but I am in control. That is what people think. There have been great saints. I don't want to take their names. They go to Chicago and they speak very, very nicely. And people call them as the ambassador of India. What preaching they have done? They have brought one Mem Sahib from that place to this country. That's all. That's all. That's the only preaching which they have done. One Mem Sahib has become convinced. But we have transcendental saintly personalities like Srila Prabhupada who brought so many Sahibs and so many Mem Sahibs, and not the way they were existing. He made them into Vaishnavas. Prabhupada used to call them his white elephants. He made them dance on the streets of India. And they dedicated their life. Thousands and thousands of Sahibs and Mem Sahibs Prabhupada brought, but no credit to Prabhupada. One person goes and speaks Mayavad philosophy in some place. Oh, he is the ambassador of India. He is a great Swami. But a person who has actually helped people to become blissful in life and go back home, back to Godhead, and he has given them the eternal Vedic culture and has influenced thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, no credit. Such people who do not have any Krishna Shakti in them, who do not have the power to preach also, they'll bring only one Mem Sahib. They say that it is better to worship the brinjal plant rather than worshipping the tulsi plant. Because what does the tulsi plant give you? Nothing. But the brinjal plant will at least give a brinjal. So better to have a brinjal plant at home rather than a tulsi plant. This kind of statements they make. Such Swamis, they say that if you have faith in God, but if you don't have faith in your own self, then it is better to get rid of the faith in God. It is better to have faith in yourself rather than having simply faith. This kind of statement they are making. Just see. And they are being called as Swamis, and their photos are being erected and monuments are being erected in their name. People are getting bewildered. And they say that it is produced out of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Shloka 13 to 15. Please listen. This is how the demoniac person thinks. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy. I have killed him. And my other animals will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect. I am powerful and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. Even the demon performs some sacrifices. So I shall perform some sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. It's 13 to 15. Krishna has just revealed the mind of all the demons. And everybody indeed thinks like this. Now, there are some exceptions. Please pardon me. Sometimes I get into graphs. I know many of you may be from a background where you may not be able to appreciate these graphs. See, if you see, the divine is the blue line and the demoniac is the red line. The x-axis or the horizontal axis is the time 1, time 2, time 3, time 4 being greater than time 3 being greater than time 2 being greater than time 1. And the vertical axis 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it is just an arbitrary scale where you can say it is the spiritual progress, or not even the spiritual progress, the position of a person, the positioning of a person in the world in general, or not in the world, but it is some kind of a scale which shows happiness quotient, you can say like that. Happiness quotient and spiritual progress. Achievements and things like that. So, you please see this point. There may be a person who may be very, very highly progressed at certain point of time 1. And there may be a person who is not so much progressed at time 1. So this person who may have many good qualities, but because he is of demoniac mentality, slowly he is degrading, and ultimately he will degrade to a very low state of existence. And there can be another person who may not have so many good qualities. He may be having many bad qualities also, but because he is progressing in Krishna consciousness, ultimately he will be in good standing at one point of the day. So most important is to see is the direction in which the person is traveling. Now we cannot just take this time 2 and say that, okay, person A is red and person B is blue, so person A is a good man and person B is a bad man. No. Please see the direction in which person A is going. It's the demoniac direction. Similarly, person B, although he may be displaying so many abominable qualities, but if he has started chanting Hare Krishna, it is just a matter of time that he'll get fixed up. Point to understand here is, Krishna also says that even if you see my devotee displaying some bad qualities, still he should be considered as a saint. Sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisa. Krishna says, even if my devotee is seen doing something wrong, still he should be considered as my devotee. Why? Because he has taken my shelter, and it is my responsibility that he'll be cleansed. And very soon he'll become fixed up. This Krishna says. Why? Because he has become steady and determined on the path of Krishna consciousness. I really appreciate this example. Suppose you have gone outside and somehow you have become very dirty. Now you have come home, you have taken a bucket, you are looking very dirty, you are looking very filthy, but you have a bucket and you have a mug and you are going towards the bathroom. So anybody who sees you, or if you see such a person who is dirty, but he is going towards the bathroom, will you criticize him? No. He knows that he is dirty and he has picked up the right path of having bath, And he's now going under the hand pump, or he's now going under the tap, and he's very soon going to have bath, and very soon he'll be fully cleansed. So similarly, when we take up to the process of Krishna consciousness, due to our previous conditioning, due to our conditioning since time immemorial, there will maybe so many anarthas which will just keep surfacing every now and then. But because we have taken up to this path of Krishna consciousness, very soon, nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Simply by regular attendance in the classes of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, where we render humble oral reception, and by rendering services to the devotees of the Lord, very soon almost everything which is troublesome to the heart will be fully destroyed. So, the most important thing is to see is the path on which a person is walking, and not that the particular time snapshot. I see many bad qualities in this blue person and many good qualities in this A person. So this A person is a better person. No. If A person is not a devotee of Krishna, then he is hell-bent. He is moving towards hell. And no matter what abominable existence this devotee may be, if he is a devotee of Krishna, Krishna will take care, because Krishna has made Arjuna speak in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says to Arjuna, Arjuna, oh my dear Arjuna, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Kauntaya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. The words of the devotees of Krishna are more potent, or are 100% coming true as compared to the words of Krishna. Because Krishna is Bhaktavatsal. For the purpose of reciprocating with his devotees, sometimes he breaks his own promises. But whatever the devotee of Krishna has said will never come false. So therefore, Krishna, instead of promising himself, he asks Arjuna to say that, oh Arjuna, you declare boldly that my devotee will never perish. No matter who you are, no matter how you are, in whichever condition you are, if you have started Krishna consciousness, and if you are under the guidance of a senior devotee, if you have taken the shelter of a lotus feet of the spiritual master, if you are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, just tolerate. There will be so many itches all around. Just like when you get an itch, if you start scratching it, the skin will come out, the epidermis will come out, then the hypodermis of the various layers of the skin will come out, and then the blood will come out, and then it will become a wound. But intelligent is that personality who tolerates the itch. Now, some people try to put a cream. They'll put a cream, but then the itch will happen in some other place. So they'll put a cream here, then the itch will happen in some other place. Then they put the cream here. So the solution is not the cream. The problem is there in the physiology. The problem is there in the blood, because of which so many itching is happening. So we have to purify the blood. And that purification of blood is in the process by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Our material blood is decreasing and our spiritual blood is increasing. And very soon we will be able to overcome all these problems. But in the meantime, there will be many itches. You have to tolerate it. Just tolerate it. When these itches, they come, they are like thunder and clouds. When the thunder, rain and clouds, when they come, when the tempest comes, it appears that everything will be destroyed. And then we stay in our house for some time. And then automatically after some time, this tempest, this thunder, this tufan, it goes away. So similarly, when we get so many disturbances due to our past conditionings, simply we should take shelter, and we should take shelter of the kirtans, we should take shelter of the books of Srila Prabhupada, we should try to take shelter of the devotees. Just try to tolerate it. When Krishna will see that we are sincerely trying to walk on the path of righteousness, he will give us the strength to overcome these problems. But if Krishna sees that we are not chaste, we are not really serious in Krishna consciousness, then we will be dancing to the tune of Maya. Okay, I think someone is raising their hand. Who's raising? Narayani Kannan Mataji is raising her hand. Do you want to speak something? Should I unmute you? You can unmute yourself, Mataji, and you can ask whatever you want to ask. Narayani Kannan Mataji. In case if you have something to ask, you can unmute yourself. Okay, then in that case, you please lower your hand. No question. I think by mistake she raised her hand. Okay, so remember this example of a person who's dirty and is going to take bath with a bucket in his hand. So he cannot be despised, saying that you are very dirty. So this is the worst. Api cheta suduracharo bhajate mamananya bhak sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisaha. Even if one commits most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Now, devotees should not take advantage of this also. That, oh, Krishna has said, Api chet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak. What does the word ananya bhak means? Ananya bhak means one who is doing devotional service without any reservations, without any cheating propensities. That is called ananya bhak. So, due to previous conditionings, even when we are on the path of devotional service without reservations, uninterrupted and unmotivated, still some mistakes may happen because we are conditioned living entities. So in that case, one should not say, oh, this Prabhuji did this Mataji did this. No. If Krishna is allowing them to do, what problem you have? In this way we should think. And this verse is only for others, not for myself. I cannot be seen in the market with a japmala in one hand and a half kg of fish in the other hand and thinking, oh, I'll make this fish and I'll chant 4 rounds extra. Anyways, Krishna has said, Sadhureva Samantupya. I'll go and find faults with every devotee, but nobody can find faults with me. Why? Because Krishna says, Sadhureva Samantupya, Samyak Vyavasito Hisa. No. This is basically meant for accidental mistakes which someone does, not planned mistakes, meditated mistakes. No. Accidentally, if something happens, then sadhu reva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisaha. This is the verse. I will request all of you to read the purport. Srila Prabhupada writes wonderful purport on this verse. And this is the verse which I keep quoting all the time. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunestatra samasate suraha harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato vahihi. All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service, engaged in material activities, has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? This is the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is very open. It just removes all the ignorance, avidya from in front of us. Provided we, in a humble, if we offer a humble reception to Srimad Bhagavatam, that yes, I accept. Whatever you say, I accept. Of course, if I have some questions, I'll clarify. But in general, I believe whatever you say is correct. This is called humble reception. Any questions or comments? Any reflections till now? Okay, then we will go to the next section. We have been talking a lot about these qualities, but how to get these qualities? Any thoughts about this? How to get these divine? I'm just hoping that nobody wants any demoniac quality. But if at all you want these divine qualities, what do you think? How to get these? Can you just type in the chat box and share with me what could be a way to get these divine qualities? What could be the ways to get these divine qualities? Chanting and listening about Krishna, Aswini Kushala Mataji is telling. That's good, very nice. Any other way? By self-real chanting and steady practice, Balaji Mohan Prabhu is telling. You'll get these qualities, okay? Self-realization and renunciation. Oh, that sounds a little lofty. How will you get that? Read scriptures and practice them. Okay. Sincerely chanting, listening, and good association. I really like this point, good association. Because all the chanting, reading, hearing will happen when somebody is in that association. You go out of this devotee association and just check out yourself how much chanting and hearing and reading and renunciation you can exhibit. So Sudha Mataji is telling, take shelter of the Lord, associate with the pure devotees. Yeah, this is a very, very nice answer. Take shelter of the Lord and associate with his pure devotees. To be in the company of Krishna's devotees, Narayani Kanan Mataji said. Perfect answer. By serving the Lord, Hari, Guru, and devotees. Very, very nice answer. Following Krishna consciousness in thoughts, words, and deeds. Very, very nice. That's how we should aim. Chanting and focusing on the name, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna. That's good. Spending time with devotees. Sindhu Sablok Mataji is telling. Sindhu Sablok Mataji had sent me a message. She had a query. I have to yet get back to her query. Please forgive me. I will get back as soon as possible. Padmalata Mataji is telling associating with devotees. Very, very important, most important point. Association. Here, Krishna Katha, Sudha Mataji. Yes, Krishna Katha will change the heart. Shashi Pandey Mataji is telling chanting and remembering Almighty with pure heart. Good. Going to pilgrimages with devotees. Sweta Sudrik Mataji is really exhibiting her desire that we should go to pilgrimage. Actually, if Corona wouldn't have been there, I would have already taken you to some place by now. By this time, before going to level 2 also, I generally take devotees to a 1 day or a 2-day yatra. Now I'm just waiting for that October time when maybe we'll go to some either Vrindavan or Mayapur or Jagannath Puri. It will be a 1-week yatra with that. I'm hoping we'll be able to do that. Association plays major role in our lives, Prabhuji. Ashwini Mataji is telling correct. Consciousness in Krishna, Naveen Prabhu, correct. Satsang is very important. Read Bhagavad Gita daily, Sulva Mataji is telling. Yes, correct. Chanting and reflection, very good. Dakshayani Mataji is telling, listening to Acharya Prabhupada and devotees. Very, very good. Bhakti begins with Shravanam. Naresh Kumar Pandit Prabhu is telling, surrender to Krishna. Yes, that's very nice. Develop good qualities amongst people, even if they have faults. Lead them towards Krishna consciousness. Oh, Krishna Murthy Prabhu and Vinita Mataji have already started to think like a preacher. Congratulations. So yes, I really like the answer of association. With the kind of things we associate, we become like that. So the Bhagavad Gita in the 13th chapter, I think it says, yes, 13th chapter. Purushaha prakristho hi bhungte prakritijan gunan karanam guna sanghosya sad asad yoni janmasu. The living entity in the material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the 3 modes of nature. This is due to his association with the material nature. Thus he meets good or evil amongst various species. That means right now, at this moment when we speak, we are making our next body. Now we have to decide whether our next body will be like that of a pigeon, or whether my next body will be like that of some demigod, or whether I'll become an amoeba, or whether I'll become a dog or a cat, or whether I will just get rid of all material bodies and develop my spiritual body and become fit to associate with Krishna and the devotees of Krishna. At this moment, we are making our next body. So we acquire these qualities based on our association with the various modes, basically. We associate with many, many modes. One may say, I have not talked to any passionate person today, but you went out and you saw all the billboards. You met so many people around you. No, we cannot just go into a forest. So we have to be exposed to such things. So therefore, just like a soldier, when he goes out, he has to wear the armor. So similarly, devotees, whenever they step out of the house, they have to finish their Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting, ideally 16 rounds before stepping out. And it is not that once they have chanted 16 rounds, Maya cannot touch them. No, Maya will still touch them. But at least they have the armor. And by the time in the evening when they come back, the armor is already breaking apart, falling loose, full of holes. And so many attacks have been done. So again, when the devotee comes back, he again does little kirtan, hears a lecture or chants 1 or 2 rounds. In this way, he is saving himself. Now, what is the bad association which we have, like watching TVs and movies, and these days, the web series, they are gates to hell. Lust, greed, and anger is being portrayed in them. What are these movies? Movies, they put you in an illusory world. These movies, there are various characters, and they are leading a life which is not as per the laws of karma. And these things are being shown. And when somebody sees these characters in the movies, they associate themselves to those characters. And when they see those characters, doing great activities, stylish activities, they feel, oh, I'm like him. What is this sadistic pleasure which one gets while watching movies or such things, series, web series and things like that? Whomever they are seeing, they are able to associate themselves with that character. So therefore, whatever exploits that character is making on the screen, they feel happy about it. When I was in my school, some superhero movie had come. At that time, I was not in Krishna consciousness. So I had also gone to see in the theater. And I saw that when that superhero was jumping from here and there and doing some things, a child next to me became so much attached and was so much associating himself that he jumped down from the theater. I think there were some floors, and he jumped down looking at that hero. And thankfully, he didn't got injured because he fell on the laps of somebody else. But he did that. That is why these movies, they have some kind of an appeal, because a person is fully frustrated in life and not knowing what to do and hurrying towards the gates of hell. And then for a few hours, the movie puts them into ignorance, and then they associate themselves with that character on the screen and how nicely he's drinking, dancing, and all those. So, okay, very nice. When I was not in Krishna consciousness, I saw this movie. It was called Dawn, made by Shah Rukh Khan. So in that movie, what is being shown? That here is a thief who's going around stealing so many things, who's going around killing so many people, and he's able to get away with it also, as if there is no laws of karma anywhere. You may get away from the police, but how will you get away from the eternal laws and reactions of the work which you do? And in these movies, such kind of characters are shown as great heroes. And society starts thinking that stealing is good. Stealing is the new smart thing to do. And these kind of, because in real world, this does not happen. Trust me, if anybody is stealing something, they'll be beaten black and blue. And nobody can get away with stealing. So, knowingly spend, what is bad? Watching these TVs and movies, which are gateway to hell series, that is bad. Knowingly spending time with people who have these demoniac qualities is bad. What is good? Reading the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, chanting Hare Krishna, this is good. And associating with the devotees of Krishna is good. Simply, if you go out for a book distribution with the devotees, it's a completely different experience. Simply, if you just join a chanting session, there is so much different experience. Simply, if you join for these classes, such a different experience. So much good vibrations. Slowly and steadily, it is changing your heart. It is changing my heart also. You know why I come to these sessions? I don't come to these sessions to, make you people Krishna conscious. That is happening by the will of Guru and Krishna. I am not an instrument here. Or maybe I am an instrument in some way, but that is not my doing. Because of your previous connection to Krishna, because of your previous connection to Lord Chaitanya, somehow you came running into this course, and somehow you are still able to continue it, sit for 2 hours and here and here and here. This is your credit. Why I am coming to these sessions? Because when I speak Krishna Katha, my heart gets purified. So I am doing this preaching for self-purification. And of course, little bit, whatever experience I have, I want to share with all of you. And because I have been guided by my seniors, so I see it as my responsibility to guide all of you. If at all you need some guidance, for that purpose I'm coming. So I get a lot of good vibrations by being with all of you. All of you have become my constant companion from last 7-8 months, and I feel very happy about it. And I want to spend more time with all of you. So your association is my saving grace. If I wouldn't have been serving all of you via this class in this session, probably I would have been serving Maya, doing something which I shouldn't be doing. What is saving us? Devotees are saved by being constantly engaged in the service of Krishna. That is their saving grace. We are very tiny. We cannot actually do any service to Krishna. Krishna doesn't even need our service. Krishna just sees how much time is he trying to spend in my service. That's all. So do not miss this devotee sangha, this devotee association. Please come without fail. We want the numbers to increase. We want the seriousness to increase. We want all of you to become preachers of Krishna consciousness. Each one teach one while being taught by one. Do not associate with the bad, associate with the good. And in this way, progress in Krishna consciousness. So these divine qualities can primarily be attained by association of devotees. I always believe that no matter how fallen you are, no matter how degraded you are, maybe let me start in the reverse way. No matter how exalted you are, no matter how austere and self-controlled you are, no matter how great achievements you have made, no matter how much soever spiritually evolved you are, if you are not in the association of devotees, it is just a matter of time that you will fall down. But on the contrary, no matter how fallen you are, no matter how degraded you are, no matter how abominable you are, no matter what stinking state of existence which you may be in, if somehow you have entered into the association of devotees of Krishna and you have started chanting Hare Krishna, then it is just a matter of time that you will become a purified soul worth taking shelter of. It is just a matter of time. Just like all the people who are trying to chant Hare Krishna and trying to read Prabhupada's books, hear his lectures and associate with devotees, they are like those unripe mangoes connected to the tree. Some mangoes on this tree is ripe. Some mangoes are not ripe. But as long as these unripe mangoes may remain connected to the tree, as long as they remain connected to the tree, it is just a matter of time that one day they'll become ripe. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada likes to call all the devotees of ISKCON as pure devotees because they are connected to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. It is just a matter of time to become pure devotees. So just stay connected. Just remain in the association. That is the magic. Just tolerate the anarthas which are there surfacing and just remain connected. So there are three gates. There are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. So we have to plan to cultivate these good qualities. If we do not plan to cultivate these good qualities, then by nature we will be forced to cultivate bad qualities. Because that is the law of nature. Everything is by nature degrading in Kali Yuga and also in all the time in material world. By nature, everything will be degrading. We are so much used to associating with this TV, cinema, internet, Netflix, YouTube, etc. The more you associate, sanga sanjayate, kama kamas krodho vijayate. The more you associate with them, the more you will get bewildered. So we have to avoid such association. We have to try to cultivate the Krishna conscious qualities, spiritual qualities. Avoid the people who are envious, arrogant, and proud. Become humble. Now it is said, Eter vimuktah kaunteya tamo dvarastribhir naraha acharyatya atmanah shreyas tato yati param gatim. The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, what are these? Lust, greed, and anger. O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and gradually attains the supreme destination. So the natural, there is, I think, if I'm not wrong, somebody will correct me, there is some law of thermodynamics I had studied in my school, that gradually everything will degrade. It's like gravity. Everything just falls down. So in the material world, everything gradually degrades. So it just happens. So we have to plan to cultivate good activities. If you do not specifically plan, then it will not happen. Now, many people say, when my job becomes stable, I'll practice Krishna consciousness. When my family becomes stable, I'll practice Krishna consciousness. When things become stable, I'll practice Krishna consciousness. Sorry, sir, it is never going to happen. Amidst all the turmoil and difficulties, you have to give time to Krishna. That is your love for Krishna. And when we start doing this, then changes will happen. And this is very easily achieved through association. Simply remain in the association of fired up devotees. Everything will automatically happen, just like that. On your own, if you try to do, it is going to be very difficult, next to impossible, because always remember, we are conditioned living entities. However, when we come into the association of devotees, for some time, as long as we are in the association, we become spiritually surcharged to see through our conditioning and see things as they are in the light of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So this association of devotees is the only thing which is needed. There are various stages in bhakti. First is Ado Shraddha, accepting that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. Ado Shraddha. Then is Sadhu Sangha, hankering to be in the association of devotees. And once you have started hankering to be in the association of devotees, then comes bhajan, then comes bhajana kriya. Then you become stable in your sadhana. Chanting, reading, hearing, all these things, services. Services are also very important. If we do not do any service, simply if we are chanting, reading, hearing, the nourishment doesn't come. We have to do some service. Some service needs to be done. In my next session, I'm going to talk about the various services which are available, which you people can take and participate. So we have to be in the association of devotees. Then only our sadhana will become stable. Bhajan Kriya. After Bhajan Kriya comes Anarth Nivritti. You start seeing your heart is a storehouse of all abominable desires and qualities. So that phase, which is a very difficult phase to cross, which can only be crossed by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, that is called Anarth Nivritti. After Anarth Nivritti, you reach the stage of Nishtha, where your bhakti becomes fixed up. After Nishtha comes, what is the next stage? Ruchi. Then you start getting taste. Then you really wait. When can I get up and when can I chant? When can I read? When can I go and serve devotees? That is called Ruchi. After Ruchi comes Asakti. Means you become fully attached to this process that now if I do not perform Krishna consciousness activities, I cannot survive. If I don't render devotional service, I'll just die. That is called Asakti. After Asakti comes Bhava. Bhav is the stage where you'll be in ecstasy all the time. The moment you hear the name of Krishna, your hairs will stand up and your voice will get choked up. Don't try to imitate these things. And these things have to come naturally. There are many sahajiyas who imitate these things. They take some onions, they put in their eyes, they go in front of the public and they cry and cry and cry while they are singing Hare Krishna Maha Mantra or while they are reciting Bhagavatam. Don't get into this business. But Bhava is a stage which comes naturally on its own. And after Bhava comes Prema, which is the perfected, pure state of Krishna consciousness, the original state of all living entities. Okay? So the only thing which will help us in getting all these good qualities is the association of devotees. I would like to end today's discussion with this point. Yat pada samshayah sutaha. Okay, this is a different meter. Yat pada samshayah. Again, different meter, sorry. Yat pada samshayah sutta munayaha prashamayanaha sadyah punatya upasprishtaha swardhunya apo anusevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 1, shloka number 15. O Sutta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the waters of Ganges can sanctify only after a prolonged use. Now, this verse is a very nice verse. Devotees can try to memorize this. Maybe this could be a homework. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.15, homework to memorize. Yat pada samshrayah sutta munayaha prashamayanaha sadyah punatya upasprishtaha swardhunya apo anusevaya. So when you learn this verse, you should learn the word-to-word meanings. That when you say yat pada samshrayah sutta, so you know what does samshrayah mean, like that. So, O Sutta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them. That means one who is a devotee of Krishna. Simply if you go and sit with him for 1 minute, you are fully purified. However, if you do not like that devotee association and simply are going and taking bath in Ganga, it will take years and years and years for you to get purified. Because having bath in Ganga is also a science, which people don't know. So how wonderful is this association of devotees? It is not an exaggeration. Please don't think that Bhagavatam is exaggerating this. When I say that if you want to develop all good qualities, just go and sit with a devotee, I'm not exaggerating. These are actual points. These are actual facts. Okay. Now, with this, I come to an end of today's discussion. I want to re-highlight this point that whatever Result was obtained in Satyuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapar Yuga by serving Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I want to also highlight that all the counter evil effects of Kali Yuga can be counteracted simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In all Vedas, it is seen that to cross this ocean of nescience, there is no alternative to chanting of the holy name of the Lord. I would like to remind all of you that it is absolutely essential for everybody to have a pot of Tulsi at your home. Sing the Tulsi Kirtan. Water the Tulsi plant. Don't flood it. Water it. Make sure it gets proper sunlight. Many times Tulsi plant is not able to survive because it does not get proper sunlight. So make sure it gets proper sunlight. Make sure you don't flood it, but in the morning, you water it a little bit. Fix a time of the day and just water it without over flooding it. And then worship it. Show some incense to it. Show a ghee lamp to it. Offer some flowers to it. Offer obeisances to it. Circumambulate it. And if while chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if you can just put a Tulsi plant in front of you on a raised platform and just sit in front of it and chant, that is powerful, powerful, powerful devotional service. Just sit in front of the Tulsi plant and chant, and then you see how fast you'll progress. Because Tulasi Krishna Prayasi. Tulasi is one of the most beloved devotees and servants of Krishna. That's why we say Vrindaya Tulsi Devyaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha. So she has the power to award pure devotional service unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So I request all of you to worship the Tulsi plant. Put a Tulsi plant in front of you and just sit and chant. That's the ideal thing to do. Some chat messages have come. And see the chat messages now. Oh, some more messages. Naveen Kumar, follow the devotees in line with Nityanand Prabhu. Yes, you can develop good qualities. Gargi Mataji is selling chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita and association of devotees with Krishna. Correct. Deepmala Golani Mataji is commenting. We didn't have TV in our home till my graduation, and we never had the guts to ask my father why we are deprived of TV. But now I feel he did good. That's correct, actually. Srinivas Ramakrishnan to everybody. Sorry, Srinivas Ramakrishnan was typing. Be aware of our limitations, inability to avoid being influenced by what we see. Very important point. We actually have no ability. You can't say that I'm associating with this, but at the same time, I'll not be affected by this. This is not possible. If you are associating with it, you will be affected by it. Hence, develop good habits, routines, that is chanting, praying, reading, good association, and divert your mind and time towards constructive things, including serving others. So Srinivas Ramakrishna Prabhu has made a very, very wonderful point. I congratulate you for having come up with such a nice point. Srinivas Ramakrishna Prabhu is a very senior person, very senior devotee. We are like your sons and grandsons. Some of us are like your younger brothers. Please bless all of us so that we can all this positive atmosphere of Krishna consciousness in our heart and mind, and we may be able to overcome the misgivings which we have in our heart. So you please bless us, Srinivas Prabhu, so that we can progress in Krishna consciousness. Okay. Abhishek Mishra Prabhu is asking to share the shloka number 5.18.8. Yes, we can share it, but after the class. Okay, one person has raised hand. Abhishek Mishra Prabhu, what do you want to say? I'm unmuting you.
Yes, Prabhuji. I think someone just mentioned Nityanand Prabhu, so I just recollected the lecture which I was attending of Rikshetra Prabhu a few days back. So I have one question regarding that. He was just narrating a pastime that sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go in a state of trance, right? And he would just fall unconscious, and the breathing would also subside slowly. And at that moment, if someone would chant Hare Krishna in his ears, he would just wake up, and then he would start chastising his fellow associates that why did you wake up? I was about to serve Radha and Krishna and in the Golok Vrindavan. He himself was an incarnation of Krishna. So why this? I was about to serve Radha and Krishna. I mean, how can he serve himself?
He is in the mood of a devotee.
Okay.
See, Krishna can expand himself as Balram and serve himself. So what's the big deal? Lord Chaitanya is actually seeing Radha Krishna Leela happening, although he himself is Krishna, but he has appeared in the mood of a devotee. He has appeared carrying the mood of Srimati Radharani. Inconceivable things are possible in the spiritual world. So we cannot understand the spiritual dynamics with our tiny material brain. So Lord Chaitanya, although he's Krishna, but he's deriving supreme bliss in the mood of a devotee. Eternally, Krishna is the enjoyer, but he wants to taste this rasa which devotees are experiencing. So he has come down in that form of Lord Chaitanya. And then he's entering the pastimes of Radha and Krishna also. And he's seeing all that happening. So what is the difficulty to understand this point?
So difficulty is like he himself is the supreme personality of Godhead. So
Yes.
if it was someone like you or me, then it is fairly conceivable that okay, we want to serve Krishna, but he is the supreme personality of Godhead. He has created
The
everything.
greatness of devotional service. The devotional service is so great that even the Lord and the devotees are serving the Lord, and the Lord also wants to feel the ecstasy which the devotees are feeling. So he also is very busy serving the devotees. There is a competition going on between Krishna and his devotees who will serve each other more. Have you seen that photo of Krishna where Krishna is sucking the toe of his leg?
Yes.
Krishna is thinking that what is so great in the dust of my lotus feet that all that people in the whole creation are hankering for it. Let me now taste it and see. But as Bhagwan, when he does it, he does not get the full relishment. So he has to become a devotee. He has to come down in the mood of a devotee to really relish that dust of the lotus feet. Do you follow?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, any other questions or comments before we begin our chanting? Naresh Kumar Pandit Prabhuji is very sincerely expressing that he could not attend last two sessions. Sorry for the absence, but watch later. Prabhuji, if you have missed the Nityananda Kathamrit session, which happened last Sunday, please go ahead and see it. And spread it to everybody. Let everybody know about Nityananda Prabhu. Who is Nityananda Prabhu? They know about so many Swamis and yogis and who did so much damage to the Vedic culture of India. But nobody knows about Nityananda Prabhu. So please, everybody watch the Sunday Kathamrit lecture, Nityananda Kathamrit lecture. And after that, forward it to others also. Okay. So I hope we have covered this divine and demoniac. Deepmala Gulani Mataji is again saying something. Is it compulsory to touch everybody's feet if we don't have respect? See, it's a custom. When you touch someone's feet, it's a custom. It's a way of expressing your feelings for someone. Ideally, I feel that even if you don't have respect, if it's a custom, we should do it. There's no harm in bending down. It's a custom which does not exist in any other part of the world, so we should save this custom also. As and when the Kali Yuga will progress, nobody will have any respect for anybody. That does not mean that everybody should stop touching everybody's feet. This happened with Prabhupada disciples also. Some of the disciples of Prabhupada went and told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, all of them are paying obeisances to you. We don't feel like paying obeisances to you. So Prabhupada said, no problem. You just keep paying obeisances. One day you'll start feeling like paying obeisances to me. So then, as a matter of practice, they started paying obeisances. And then over a period of time, when they realized the greatness of Srila Prabhupada, then they started paying obeisances with all their heart. So I feel that this culture of touching the feet should be retained, because anyways, it is going to be lost. Deep Mala Gurani Mataji is again asking, my question is for non-devotees. See, when you offer obeisances to a devotee, you have so much love and devotion in your heart. You may not have so much love and devotion, but as a matter of custom, I think we should still do, because this culture is getting lost. We have to preserve it. This culture is getting lost. We have to preserve it. You may not have love and respect, but at least, the other person, the other elderly person who is there, at least you maintain a good relationship with them, which will not bite you. That is my understanding. Srinivas Ramakrishnan Prabhu is commenting, it is more a reflection on your state of mind, showing respect to others and touching others by touching the feet of elders. Okay, yeah. It's all right to be respectful to everybody. You may not follow them, you may not subscribe to them, you may not have love and devotion towards them, but it's okay to respect them. There's nothing wrong in that. Gargi Mataji, in fact, I have heard touching feet allows us to stay humble and helps get rid of our pride and ego. Yes. Yes, it is true. We as devotees should see Krishna in everybody. If you can come to this state, Balaji Mohan Prabhu, I should come and touch your feet then. Because it's the Uttam Adhikari stage. The Kanishth Adhikari, or the neophyte in Krishna consciousness, thinks that it is me and my Krishna. Does not like to spend time with devotees much. It is me and my Krishna. That's all. Madhyam Adhikari means a person who is a little advanced in Krishna consciousness. He has started preaching Krishna consciousness, and he is associating more with the devotees of the Lord and ignoring the envious people and people who are simply causing disruption, and spending more time with the innocent people, trying to preach to them, having nice relationships with the devotees, respectful, loving exchanges with the devotees. This is Madhyam Adhikari. And Uttam Adhikari means he is literally seeing Krishna in everybody's heart. A Madhyam Adhikari cannot preach to everybody. For example, when I go out for book distribution, in just 1 minute, I come to know when I'm talking to someone whether this person is a favorable person or not. And then when I find this person is a theist, he is simply coming here to make disturbance, he's not a favorable person, not a fertile soil, I don't try to plant the seed of Krishna consciousness there by distributing a book. I just carry on. I don't waste my time. But Uttam Adhikari, he will preach to everybody, because he is seeing Krishna in his heart and in everybody else's heart. Uttam Adhikari always thinks that I am a non-devotee, everybody else is a devotee. Now don't try to copy this. If you try to copy this, you'll fall flat on your face. This is a natural sentiment which comes when your heart becomes fully purified. Such Uttam Adhikaris like Srila Prabhupada, when they preach, they don't care who is an atheist, who is a sinful person, who is a... one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada was a butcher. He came and took initiation from Srila Prabhupada. So we cannot enact those things. If you give initiation to a butcher, or if I give initiation, the karmic reactions of the butcher, when that will come to me, I'll collapse, finished, life is over. My Krishna consciousness has gone for a toss. Uttam Adhikaris their meditation on Krishna is so strong that they can really burn up the sinful reactions of their disciples. So Uttam Adhikaris can see Krishna in everybody's heart, but that does not mean that they do not treat that they treat everybody equally. No, still they make differentiation. They are seeing Krishna in the heart of an atheist, so they will treat the atheist like an atheist, but they have the capacity to preach the atheist and convert him into a Krishna conscious person. A Madhyam Adhikari may not be having this quality, this capacity, because the atheist's faith in atheism is stronger than the Madhyam Adhikari's faith in Krishna consciousness. So therefore, the Madhyam Adhikari, when he'll go to preach, he will only get bewildered. Oh, aisa bhi bolta hai, things like that. So therefore, we should save ourselves. So seeing Krishna in everybody's heart is a very, very exalted platform. So I'm very happy that all of you are discussing this. Krishnamurti Prabhu is commenting, when one is touching anybody's feet, it's actually touching the Lord's feet. I don't think so. Until unless you consider that person to be the Lord, I don't think so. That's not the case. This philosophy can be misunderstood and misconstrued in various ways. You know, one can say, I'm God, you are God. That's why I'm saying this question of seeing Lord in the people is a very, very exalted, lofty concept. It is little difficult for me to digest that somebody is telling that I'm seeing Krishna in everybody. Only acharyas can do this. It's easy to say this, but it's very difficult to do this. So, because many people misconstrue this philosophy. They say Manav Seva is Madhav Seva. Serve the humanity that is serving Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is there in everybody. So I'm just serving him. And this is not the right philosophy. Manav Seva is not Madhav Seva. So one may aspire for this platform, but let me tell you, we cannot even imagine what it means to be on this platform. And I'm your teacher, let me tell you, none of us are at this platform of seeing Krishna in everybody's heart. The moment someone says something which is agitating, the moment we get provoked, we forget full Krishna consciousness. That is our condition right now. The moment somebody harms my interests, I forget all Krishna consciousness goes for a toss. That is our conditioning right now. It's very difficult, if somebody is attacking me and if there is a scorpion in this room and it has already bit me, but still I'm seeing Krishna in the heart of the scorpion and trying to help him out. No, that is a very, very exalted stage. So let's not try to artificially imitate this stage. I don't want to even talk about it because I have no experience about it. I have not been able to see Krishna in everybody till now. Of course, I see everybody as a part and parcel of Krishna, but I avoid the envious people as of now. I don't try to preach to them. Okay, so with this, we come to an end to today's discussion. I will request all of you to join me in chanting one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra by turning on your videos. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshitarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.